Hey, Taylor Elwood here, and I've been talking a lot about play lately in men's work, men's play, and I thought I would bring it back around toward anxiety since that's something that I help a lot of men with. I think it's really important to incorporate play into the experience of anxiety because a lot of times what anxiety represents is kind of a freezing up and a clenching and a shutting down of who we are because we're caught up in the moment with the experience of anxiety. And what play represents is that opportunity to have some fun, to loosen up, to release tension and relax when it's done in a healthy way. I think that it's really important to differentiate again between unhealthy play and healthy play. Unhealthy play typically is going to come in the form of numbing. It's something that we're doing to manage an experience, but we're not necessarily enjoying the play for the sense of joy and presence that it brings us. We're not relaxing into it and utilizing it in a way that brings us a sense of connection. Healthy play brings us connection, and with connection comes the relief of anxiety. A lot of times, what I've observed about anxiety, both my own and other people's anxiety, is that anxiety tends to isolate. We get caught up, wrapped up in our heads, kind of like all the thought spirals that kind of go through and say, oh, okay, here's all these things that are going on. Here's all the stress. Here's all the other stuff. And I think it's really important to recognize that anxiety doesn't have to be that way. That we can actually get out of our heads, and that one of the ways we could do it is through healthy play. For example, one of the things that I've enjoyed doing in the past and enjoy sometimes in the present when the opportunity strikes is going for a swim. Swimming is a great way for me to get out of my head and into my body. And there's an element of play. That's an element of play with myself. And the same thing occurs when I'm playing a video game. If I'm playing a game on my own, it can be, under the right circumstances, a fun exercise in thought and a fun exercise that moves me depending on what the story is. But when I think about play in general, in terms of healthy play, I think about connective play with other people. Whether I'm going for whether I'm sparring with somebody, or I'm going for a walk, or with somebody and having a talk, or we're doing some kind of exercises together, or we're engaged in some type of activity where we're together. That can be really helpful in terms of creating a sense of play and a sense of integration with each other. So I think that when we look at anxiety, one of the things that we need to really look at is that, like, what can I do? What can I do to translate this experience of anxiety into an experience of something else? In this case, we'll say play, that brings a sense of peace, of connection, of community, all those other things. That's kind of the things, that's what I'm thinking about when I think about play. And a lot of times when when we have play come up, play is something that gives us a sense of perspective. It gives us an opportunity to relax and enjoy. It creates a sense of deep connection with people. When I'm playing with somebody, I am relaxing and I'm enjoying and I'm having fun. And again, I think part of our goal around men's work is that we integrate some play into the experience of men's work. And play can come in many forms. I mean, for example, singing with somebody can be a form of play. Doing art with somebody can be a form of play. Doing a collaborative writing exercise can be a form of play. Play can take many different forms. I mean, for example, when I do interviews on here with other people, I have a lot of fun. I have a deep sense of play, relaxation, and enjoyment that comes together because I'm connecting with those people and we're sharing something that we feel a genuine, deep passion around. So I think that play can take many different forms and can have many different applications. And it can help us it can help us a lot with anxiety. And I'm going to share a personal experience here. Earlier this summer, I went to a workshop, and that workshop, as I mentioned, was one where I was exercising with other men. I was feeling somewhat anxious. I had a lot going on in my head at the time. Going to that workshop was really helpful because in the act of playing with those other men, I got the opportunity to just relax and enjoy and have some fun. I didn't stay up here. I got into my body. I got into my heart. I connected with those men. There was a deeper sense of getting out of the moment and back into the presence and in the present as well. Play should bring us a sense of connection and communion. And when it doesn't, that's when it becomes unhealthy. When it becomes something that just where we're isolating ourselves, where we're not really connecting with other people in any way, shape, or form, that's when we want to bring a sense of play back in. We need to look at how we're connecting with other people. For example, for me, a huge part of play is, for example, working with like doing like kung fu with my friends. Getting the opportunity to work through a technique with somebody and trying it out and having some fun with it is great. And sometimes there's a lot of joking and laughing with it. And again, we're not trying to mess each other up. I think that's a huge thing too. We've play should not create trauma of any sort. If play creates an experience of trauma, then we have to really question if that's healthy play. It's kind of interesting. We have detached play, and then we might have like healthy play, and then we might have play where it's kind of like play for the sake of domination, competition, or whatever else, and that's not going to help. So we need to have play that is fun and connective and brings a sense of joy. And I think that when we have that joy, that ends up being an antidote. That ends up being medicine for anxiety. What I found is that, as an example for myself, I have been a lot more relaxed lately, in large part because I'm visiting my beloved and well, really my beloveds, because I have two people in my life, but visiting both of them and having that opportunity to connect and have some fun and playing. And I think that that's a really important thing that we need to have. We need to have that sense of connection and that sense of joy and presence. Playing games with the people that I love has been really helpful for me. It has been nourishing. It has been very, very, very good. And I think we need more of that. We need to find ways to bring in that kind of collaborative connection. So put that out there to you as you're watching this. And I kind of want you to think about it from the perspective of if there's an area of your life where you're feeling a lot of anxiety, ask yourself too, like, am I isolating myself in some ways? I know for me that when I felt the most anxiety in my life, it has been when I have isolated myself. When I've kind of felt like I've had to go it all alone, when I felt like I couldn't really share with other people what was going on, but when I've shared with other people what's going on, and when I've incorporated some play as well into my life and some connection and community, that has been honestly the most healing medicine that I've experienced. I still remember, and this is one of my favorite stories to tell. The first time I went into the kung fu studio that I'm at now, where I went there, I was having a really rough time of it, and I sat in parking lot for a couple minutes, not sure what I really wanted to do, but I went inside. I made myself go inside, and I started connecting with people there. And it was connecting with people that was healing for me. It was nourishing. It was exactly what I needed. I needed to connect with other people. Not connecting with people wasn't going to help me. It was just going to isolate me further. It kept me from being really grounded with the people that I needed to be grounded with. And I think that's an important distinction to make. Like, we don't have to go this alone. When people are going it alone on their journey, they're actually doing themselves and each other and each other a disservice, really, because there's doing themselves a disservice because they're not connecting with other people. They're doing each other a disservice because those other people might need them. And I don't say that as a shaming thing or anything like that. I say that just kind of as a thing to really ponder and consider that it is possible to have connection with other people. It is possible to not go through something alone and to not feel so overwhelmed by the stresses of life when we have other people that we connect with, when we start to have some fun and joy and presence, when we play some games, when we do some other things. And yes, when we have time for the deep conversations that need to happen sometimes. All of that is important. All of it is part of our medicine and our journey. And I think it really just shows that we're not meant to go through this path in life alone. We think that we're meant to go through it alone. That's where we need to really explore and question like why that is. Who does it benefit to have us go through that path alone? Certainly doesn't benefit us, and I don't want you to go through that path alone. I don't want to go through that path alone. I'm not going through that path alone. And that's really what it comes right down to. When we bring to this work, it's not just the work that we bring, it is the play, it is the integration with each other, with ourselves. It is choosing to take care of each other and ourselves. It is choosing to connect with other people. That's part of the medicine that we bring. And when it's done in the right way, in a healthy way, it can be very potent medicine that brings us a deeper sense of community and connection and shows us that we're not alone. So if that's something that you're not experiencing in life, I want to share that it is possible to have it. I would urge you to reach out and connect with me as an example, because you don't have to go through this road alone. And when we bring some play into it, it makes that road a lot more fun, a lot less potholes, things along those lines. So well worth it for that reason alone. Thanks for watching.